Welcome. I am Reverend Montclair, and this is Monday Church with Reverend Montclair. I'm clearing my space here so maybe the microphone will access my voice better. Today is July 17th, not a Monday, 2025. Today is a massive day of national protests. Oh, protesting the unbelievably cruel tactics that our current administration has been implementing against essentially most Americans, but also worse for the moment for immigrants, for undocumented immigrants, for people of color of any background, whether they were born here or not, for many American citizens and even tourists or students here on a visa from another country. Everyone, it seems, is being targeted. This is the most paranoid and fearful administration in their policies and their hostilities, and they're arming up with armies, putting them in places where they don't belong, in cities that have high minority populations like Los Angeles, and targeting, as they are called, blue states. Um, we're in a mess here in the United States. And I'm jumping on today just because I've been thinking about this administration as human beings and where they're coming from and where we all have something in common. So to be in a place where you are seeking power, ultimate power, which is what this administration is doing. They're not interested in sharing power. They're not interested in choosing to represent the majority of this country and the people of this country, the citizens of this country. They have their own agenda. And it's a pretty selfish one. It's maybe pretty isn't even the best word. I'm not going to be diminutive about it. It is absolutely selfish, self serving, and I'm going to use the word fallacious, which is false. It is absolutely false in their assumption of what their goals are. So, what their true inner goal is for security, for self glorification, to quell the insecurities within themselves. This administration, the people that are at the helm of the grasping for power, it is very clear and apparent that what they are grappling with internally is a very low sense of self and security and significance, and to try to quell those inner anxieties and insufficiencies, and perhaps to disregard or deny the abuses that they must have suffered in childhood to become this type of person, to create the drama and the chaos around them, and to share their own inner chaos and drama and hostility. And I use the word share in a way where the phrase, what is the phrase where you say, um, not the hurt people, but they do, but that, oh, misery loves company. Misery loves company. Misery not only loves company, but misery likes to inflict misery on others. Those that were not brought up in happy, loving families, that absolutely refuse to look at themselves and heal themselves, do not like to see happy, loving families. They do not want to endure the pain that they feel in contrast to the knowledge that is maybe hidden within, that they did not grow up in a happy, loving family. So here we are. We have a bunch of damaged, deeply damaged, wounded people that are inflicted on this world, doing more damage, inflicting more damage and trauma, and ripping families apart, ripping futures away. And we are here witnessing it. And it feels like a steamroller that we cannot stop. But my God, those that are trying, those in their heart of hearts are reaching in and being brave and standing up and saying, no, this is not how we're going to go. Because in the last 6 months, this country has become a shell of what it was. And it's just a hard, crusty, cruel, sharp shell. And there's nothing inside. And when I say that, I'm referring to the government. And the nothing I'm referring to is the purposeful gutting of programs that help people, that support families, that support children, that support education, that supports the environment. My God, these people are sick. It's unfathomable to me in many ways. But what a trauma they are trying to inflict on the rest of this country by removing safety protocol for our food system, by removing much of our weather reporting. It's insane. And that is what is happening. They are ultimately, in a manner, insane. So, spiritually bankrupt, emotionally whack jobs. And we're living through it and seeing the trauma and enduring the carnage. Yet, we also have to take care of ourselves. Yes, it's important to stand up and speak. It's important to do what you can in your world to make this statement wholeheartedly that this is wrong. And we have to still find ways to disengage from the trauma and fear that is intentional to try to control us, to try to make us submit, to try to make us obey. Every dictator uses this type of trauma. Every dictator that desires control no matter what is a deeply wounded child, as Hitler was, as Kim Jong-un must be, as all the rest. They're deeply wounded children, and they have no qualms about deeply wounding anybody in their path that stands in the way of them feeling good about themselves, about enriching themselves, about their self-preservation. And the more trauma they induce, the more they victimize others, the more fearful they become, because on some level it registers with them that they have more and more and more and more enemies. Yet they want to present to themselves as if they are the elite, the chosen, the superior race. They're really sick people. And these sick people have been around generation to generation to generation. And some of our ancestors might have been these sick people. And it is an opportunity for us to break the cycle by recognizing being a compassionate human with empathy is desirable, not the opposite, like Elon Musk or others would claim. We are suffering a collective consciousness illusion that not having compassion is a desirable thing. It's not. That becoming more robotic is a desirable thing. It is not. Elon Musk wants to have everybody um, be part robots. So does the RFK Jr. Yes, monitor people. Have some kind of a device implanted. This is all horrific sci-fi bullshit. And we have to be careful what stories in our culture we tell. Our Hollywood and our television writers, story producers, whatever, have done this country a great disservice by allowing stories to be told that are dark and demeaning. So Stephen Miller, he wants to make children respect America. Make them. You can no more make someone respect a country by being disrespectful in that government than you can make someone love you that doesn't want to love you or that doesn't feel they love you. Can't make that happen. You cannot make respect happen. Respect is something that comes from within, it's not imposed from without. And here, the definition of the word respect needs clarification because some people believe that the word respect means obey. It does not. That's why we have the other word, obey. Respect is something that one has for another, a feeling of admiration, a feeling of appreciation, a feeling of mutual regard. And when I say mutual regard, it doesn't mean that a person that you respect respects you. You may not even know each other. But mutual human regard. That is being in a place in your life, in your soul, where you are willing to extend such a level of care, of equanimity towards another person and yourself, that you can be strong in who you are and allow that strength, that centeredness to exist in another person without that threatening you. This administration feels threatened by everything. Imagine slights, intentional slights, by differing values, differing opinions, differing, I dare say, truths because they don't believe in truth. They don't believe in love. They don't believe in faith. They are so fearful and so grasping to control everything around them. And yeah, they may know more about scarcities to come. And when I say no, is it factual? I don't know. Is it probable? Yes, in the direction they're going. Do some of these fascist so called Christians, which they are not Christians, want to bring on the end times? Yes, they do. And they're working really hard at it. It's madness. It's cultish. It's an unwillingness to be present. It is a drastic attempt at wrangling our futures into one tiny ball of certainty. You cannot make future certain. And it is in that inability to have certainty that drives these folks crazy. It is that inability to withstand ambiguity that makes them want to dominate everything and everyone. It is so pathetic. And they're calling it prophetic. It is very sad. American culture, what is being displayed before us through this government administration, is absolutely pathetic. So, here we are, valid human beings in our own right, with valid futures and valid dreams and desires and perspectives. And we need to stand strong in our values. We need to know what they are. That's a problem. Too many of us don't know what our values are, and so therefore we are more easily manipulated. If you have a value and you know what it is, and you respect yourself enough to stand on your values, you are strong. You are stronger than they think, that they being the ones that want to manipulate you. So be strong, be heart-centered, be real, be honest, because that's what makes you real. Make sure you keep your promises to yourself. And that means not making promises you're not willing to keep. Because the more promises that you make to yourself and to others, to the world, that you don't keep, the less you are able to believe yourself, and the less power you feel you have. Only make the promises you are willing to keep. And there are some promises that we are willing to keep, and we do everything we can to make that happen, and still, because of life being the way it is, may fall short. Then renegotiate the promise with yourself, with others. But know you gave it your best. Because if you give something your best, your goals, your desires, your dreams, if you give it your best, you cannot be cruel to yourself about that. If you gave your best, you're off the hook. You did your best. But don't sit back um, and do a half-assed job and then say, well, it was some outside force rather than your lack of applying yourself. But here we have to really look inside about what our values, not only our values, but our belief systems are. We have to believe that we as individuals have some kind of agency and power over our life direction. Otherwise, we're not going to lift a finger to do anything about it. You have to believe. So some may say that's putting the cart before the horse, which is a saying. And yeah, you do have to believe in something in order to be able to achieve it. It has to be within your mind's eye, within your heart's center, within the possibility of the universe. And this is where having some kind of faith is helpful. Not faith that, ooh, the God is on our side. Not faith that if you supplicate yourself enough through prayer or some other kind of flagellation, self-abuse, that you will be um, somehow supported. No. But a faith, like Einstein has said, and I've said this before, that the universe is a is a good place, not a bad one. That there is some kind of good, orderly direction in the world. That there is a force of nature, of divinity, that somehow has your back. And that we have not taken on an identity that is other than sacred. We are all sacred. And I believe much of the strife and, oh gosh, trauma in our culture and in many cultures is that we forget that, or we were never taught that. We are sacred. We are sacred. We are sacred. You are sacred. Your life is sacred. Not just profane, but profoundly sacred. All of life is sacred, including you, including the spiders, including the birds, including the children, the dogs, the grass, the trees. It's all sacred, the mountains. We walk through life very differently when we believe that life is sacred rather than life is meaningless. Cynicism, I have heard said, is the death of the soul. And I believe that's true. A cynic is just someone protecting their heart because they don't have faith and they're afraid. And they are going to be able to say, I told you so. So that satisfaction gives them some comfort, but at what cost? Do your best. And don't allow this toxic culture to remove your sacred vision. Don't allow this toxic culture of distraction to cloud your eyes with other things that have really no value. Capitalist culture is a toxic culture. It is an anti human, it is an anti life culture. I don't understand how anyone could call this a Christian culture. It is not. Certainly, this government, although lot of there is a lot of noise about Christianity in this government, it's all bullshit because none of them are Christians. And where's the faith? They're trying to control so much. Where's the faith? Mm-mm. Where's the heart? Where's the compassion? Where's the empathy? Where's the generosity? Where's the almsgiving? Where's the help your brother, your sister, your mother, your lover, your father, your beautiful world? Where's the helper, as Mr. Rogers would say? When there is a lot of trauma in the world, look for the helpers. Look for those that have a heart. Look for those that are not swayed to be someone other than who they are because of the cruelty. Be centered in who you are. Be centered in your heart. That is who you are. Get out of your head. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about wholly being who you are. I guess that's all I've got to say today on this day of power and presence and perseverance and persistence. This is my little resistance. Be strong. Keep creating a beautiful world. Keep being compassionate. Keep your focus on healing of yourself and others and the earth. Much love to you all. And as you walk through this world, may you walk in beauty, with beauty before you, with beauty behind you, with beauty above, with beauty below, with beauty within, and with beauty all around you. May you walk in respect, in sacredness, in presence, and in love. Till next time, I am Reverend Montclair, and although it's not Monday, this is Monday Church with Reverend Montclair. Thank you for tuning in.